Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Welcome back to the Domtrap. I know. I told y'all months ago. I was like, I'm not done recording. I'm not done with the podcast. The podcast is not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. And I left y'all for months. And I just want to say that I apologize. Sincerely, I apologize for leaving you all hanging for what feels like a year, but I know it's not that long. I can't say that this is a promise that I'll get 100% back into content like I was, even though that wasn't a whole lot. But I hope that I can continue to get back into the swing of things with this episode. This is super off the cuff, by the way. I literally just got back from the gym and I was like, hey, why don't I do an off the cuff podcast? And then maybe one day get back to off the cuff videos. And then from there, just kind of keep it going and inviting my people back. Y'all, I miss y'all, man. Like, I miss Lynn. I miss Hailey. I miss Lex. Like, I miss y'all, man. I miss my community, you know? Shout out to the community. Shout out to the people that were asking where the episodes were, that were just checking on me and making sure that I was okay and, being patient and, all that good stuff. So I'm hoping that this can be a turn on the content side of things. I'd also like to get back into streaming a good bit. Yeah, one of these days I'm gonna get back. I promise I'm gonna get back. I miss it. I miss this. I miss talking in this mic. I miss talking to this camera. I miss talking to you. I miss reviewing films. Like, I've seen so many films and I just have not talked about them. And I feel like it's like burning a hole within my chest because I just have not gotten that out, so I kind of intend to do this to get back to how I was with expressing how I thought about film and the state of movies and I guess the state of money in the world today. So there is that. But yes, things in order. If you're here listening or watching this episode, I just want to say thank you for sticking around. Thank you for your support. I feel like sometimes I'm not deserving. It's just a weird feeling that I have. But like I said, just the people that would check in and be like, "Hey, yo, where's the pod at? Are you done? Like, what's up?" So rest assured, I am here. I want to get back to doing this maybe more often than I did before. Like I said, I do want to keep the episodes going. I do want to keep the content grind in general going. I do want to get back on like the TikTok. If you haven't followed me on TikTok yet, you can go and do that at the Domtrap. But yeah, like I want to get back to all of it. So thank you for tuning in and your support. Shout out to my folks for tuning in. I forgot how to podcast. I think this is going to be a very short episode. I'm not going to lie to you. So my apologies for the short return. Like I said, I'm doing this completely off the cuff. There's no script. There's no review notes that I have written out or anything. I'm just going straight off the brain, pause, and gonna give a couple of reviews here. So the first review that I like to start off with goes by, well, it's a movie that's a sequel, of course, because just about everything nowadays is a sequel to some extent. But this sequel is for a movie I didn't think would really get a sequel. But then when I heard about the sequel, I was like, oh, I wonder where they could go because the first movie just kind of ended. But, I guess Blumhouse just thought that, hey, maybe we should just completely change the genre and hope that it could bring us more and more millions of dollars. I don't think that's the case. I can check as I'm looking at this. But this film goes by the name of Megan 2.0. The first Megan was a horror movie. Granted, it was a comedy as well. But it was more so leaning into those horror elements. It had a lot of child's play nostalgia there with the creepy doll doing the creepy things in order to protect someone or something. And also has this goal. I guess spoilers, but the first Megan is about this lady that works in the doll making or toy making industry, and her niece's parents die in a horrific car accident with her in the vehicle because, well, I'm not going to say because of one of her dolls, but, or one of her toys, but essentially that's what happens. So the aunt, I'm just going to call her the aunt because I forgot her. Oh, Gemma. Her name is Gemma. Gemma has a niece named Katie. Gemma makes a toy, essentially, to be a companion to Katie, to help her with grief and basically be a friend and almost raise her in a way. They put a lot of technology in this doll. The company wants the doll. They want to make more dolls, but as we saw with was pretty much the prototype here, things didn't really go that great. So the doll eventually gets like corrupted code, I guess, or the code just kind of keeps going, and it decides that in order to kill Katie, in order to save Katie, it has to kill people and dogs, apparently, and children. I don't think this doll has any morals at all, because she legit kills a dog, a child, and an old lady. And usually those are things that you see in movies. Like if you kill the old lady, then something's wrong with you, you know? Like that's why the old lady didn't die in Jeepers Creepers 1. Like she wasn't gonna get out of there. But, you know, they let her live, so that was fantastic. And you just don't kill dogs and children. Like that's a cardinal sin. That's what makes Pet Sematary such a great film, because it kind of does both. And you just kind of have to deal with it and enjoy it and watch a man's ankle get stabbed by a child, but that's besides the point. Pet Sematary is better than this film. I will say that. This movie is 2 hours. I will say that too. This Megan 2.0 is 2 hours long. It did not need to be. I think this movie could have been 135 max and probably would have been a better movie. But in the first flick, they get attacked by Megan. They eventually turn the tides with another robot that kills Megan. And that's the end of the movie pretty much. But some way in that film, her code gets stolen by this other guy that works for the same company as Gemma. And I guess he sells it to someone else, and then they make a doll that's a killer doll that goes around and kills like people in the weapons industry. Yeah. So that's what makes this film an action thriller and not a horror this time. Megan the doll doesn't show up until like halfway through this movie, and the other half she's like stuffed into this Alexa bot type thing. Sorry, Alexa. My Alexa just went off. It didn't that time, but it just went off. Sorry about that. But yeah, they put her in this Alexa dot thing, and they try to find out what's going on with this new bot. And then eventually they're like, oh, in order to defeat the new bot, we have to get our old bot up to standard. So Megan then goes, okay, build me a body, make me taller, maybe this, maybe that, make me an action hero at this point. So they do that, and she like infiltrates this base, and she has like a wingsuit, and she's like flying in. I skipped a lot of this movie. I'm not going to lie. A lot didn't really matter. Like the doll that they created like kills people, and the bad guys are like, okay, we have this doll. We have to do something about it. Gemma has a new boyfriend. The boyfriend turns out to be evil. Whoop-de-doo. Of course he does, because, you know, men are evil. But, yeah, like, this movie was almost a nothing burger. It did give me a couple of chuckles. It gave me one decent laugh. Because one thing that they did bring back from the first flick is this random moment, where Megan just sings this song from, like, back in the day. And this song this time happened to be what is this, Woman's Worth by Maxwell. And I was just like, that's Maxwell, when I first heard her sing it. In the first movie it was See a Chandelier, so it's like, oh, okay, I guess we're here. So yeah, that's one thing that this movie does have going for it. The rest, however, like I said, 25 minutes could have been scrapped and it would have made this movie much better than what it was. I got kind of bored watching this movie and almost borderline sleepy at moments because there just was not enough going on to keep me engaged. But yeah, I say if you're down to watch a genre switching sequel, go and check out Megan 2.0. If you don't like dolls, if you don't want to be bored, if you want to have a great time, you don't have to see this movie. I'm not gonna lie to you. Um, I heard there's a an unrated cut that should be coming out soon. I'm curious to see what's gonna be different with that, because the unrated version of the first movie had differences between the theatrical cut and the unrated cut. So I wonder if there'll be more blood in this. Maybe we get to see the kills fleshed out, because there were a few kills in this flick that got kind of cut to black and the character got killed off screen. But yeah, I really was not a big fan of this movie, but it was watchable. So if I had to give this film a score, I'll go with like, I don't know, maybe a 7 out of 10. Borderline. Yeah, maybe I don't do 0.5s. Y'all know I don't do 0.5s. I like to keep my whole numbers whole. I don't want to say 6 and I don't want to say 7. But I think I just have to go with 7 because, like I said, it got a few chuckles out of me. And I saw a report that like Blumhouse wanted this movie to make these billions and billions of dollars because of Superman or something, but no, that's not happening. This film had a $15 to $25 million budget, and to date has only made about $31 million back. So that's the movie budget, like the production budget. They probably have to make some of the marketing budget back, because I feel like this movie did go hard on marketing. Even with like the movie theater collector's edition buckets and cups, which I do own. Shout out to my local Regal theater. But yeah, I just did not have a great time watching this movie until like certain moments. But like I said, shave off 25 minutes and you got yourself maybe a 7, maybe a full 7. And I don't have to question it. But the next flick that I like to review is I guess one of the big first summer blockbusters of the year, because it's like summer blockbuster month. So this flick is Jurassic World Rebirth. And I'm not going to lie, I had high-ish expectations for this movie because it's directed by Gareth Edwards. And if you don't know who Gareth Edwards is, he did this little flick called The Creator a couple years ago that not many people saw, but I loved. It starred John David Washington, who is Denzel Washington's son. And there's this little android girl, and he has to save her. He also directed 2014's Godzilla, which I was not a big fan of. But yeah, like he has some films under his belt, and I'm like, okay, it's got Gareth Edwards, it's Jurassic World. It doesn't have Chris Pratt in it. What could go wrong? And things went wrong with this movie for me. I like Jurassic Park and Jurassic World films. Don't get me wrong. I dislike Jurassic World Dominion. I think that might be the worst film in the franchise for me personally. Mainly because I got nothing out of that movie. At that time, I got Chris Pratt fatigue. I think the only thing that's saving Chris Pratt for me is Super Mario, which is funny of all things because I don't feel like that he should be that voice anyway. But kudos to him, I guess. He also has Garfield 2 coming out soon. So, hey, shout out to Chris Pratt. Be a better person, maybe. And don't piss Thanos off. But yeah, this film stars Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, Jonathan Bailey, Rupert Friend, and Ed Skrein. A few other people as well. This movie is another movie that I feel like would have been better if it was shorter. This movie came in at a total runtime of 2 hours and 13 minutes for a Jurassic World Rebirth film, remake, reboot. That's just too long. That is just way too much time to be saying nothing. This movie has nothing to say. This movie's entire existence is to be a summer blockbuster and to just be a Jurassic World film. That's all this movie is. This movie's not trying to do anything to anybody but bring Universal Pictures and these actors and actresses a check. The reports came out that Scarlett Johansson's like the top highest grossing actor of all time. Dude, like we know that Marvel movies are like profitable, but for that to be true, my goodness, like there's money there. You know, you didn't hear this from me, but there's money in the Johansson household, the Yost, and I think that's his last name, Colin Yost. But yeah, it's money in the household. But this film has nothing to say. This film didn't feel like it was doing anything to me or for me. It's a very bare bones Jurassic movie. It's like hey, we go here, there's a fetch quest. We go there, there's a fetch quest. We go here, there's a fetch quest. Oh no, there's this giant dinosaur that got teased at the beginning of the movie and was also in the marketing, but we're not going to do anything with, and then we go home. That's literally what this movie is for some of these characters. Of course, with this being a Jurassic film, like, you have your jobber characters. You have your jobber character set that their whole purpose is to go on this adventure, as underqualified as they may be or unwilling as they may be, and get killed by a dinosaur in some gruesome way. Spoilers. There's a black man in this movie, right? And he's like an engineer, chef, kind of boatman, right? So you don't see much of him. You just say, oh, that's a bald brother with a beard. You know, I got to root for him because he's a bald brother. Like, you know, he's black. That's my dog. So you're rooting for this guy. There's a scene where characters are like flying off of this boat, right? Like, everyone's getting like thrown out, and there's dinosaurs in the water. One dude watches this chick get thrown out of the boat, but you don't see this black man anywhere, right? Nowhere. At this point, Mahershala Ali, black greatness, he should be Blade. Hopefully he is Blade sometime soon, or he does something with his career, because I feel like that man has been sitting on his hands after waiting for this Marvel call for so long, and now nothing's coming up from it. So he had to do this. He had to. Shout out to Mahershala Ali. I loved him in just about everything. But he's a great actor, and he's just like, he's the captain of this ship, right? Kinda. Like, someone else is piloting the ship, and now he's the ship pilot. But anyway, he's on this ship, and he's like taking them to the next part of the island. Everyone's getting thrown off. And he's like, you know, it's my ship. I'm going to, you know, go down with it at this point. So he like, he docks the ship on sand. Everyone else is off the ship at this point. But then out of nowhere, you see the black dude just like come out of nowhere. Like, he didn't know what was happening. Like, he was in the bathroom or something, having a great time in there. Because I bet it was like a ride, maybe like a 40X theater ride or something, but who knows. But they're just like the two dudes on the ship. And then they get off the ship, and one of the other jobber characters just gets killed by ocean dinosaurs. And it's like no one cares. Like, Mahershala Ali's character is like, you know, he's just captain of this ship. I guess he's like ex-military or something, so he's had to watch people die. But he gets sad for like 30 seconds, if that, and then they're just on to the next mission. And the mission is for science, of course. They're trying to obtain DNA, technically. Because, you know, what can go wrong obtaining DNA from dinosaurs? They're about to make me cuss. What can go wrong from obtaining DNA from dinosaurs on another island, not even on Earth? Like, they're just way out somewhere. It's crazy. It is crazy. It's thundering outside. That's how crazy it is. They go to this island, and they're just there. They know that they shouldn't be there, but they stay. They persist. Long story short, the fetch quest is pretty much completed. The scientist gets the science stuff. The bad guy, who was the guy that funded the entire trip, makes a stupid move and gets killed in a funny way. Like, spoiler alert. The man handcuffs a suitcase to his arm. And the way that it's shot makes you think, oh, he's totally going to get eaten by a dinosaur, and his arm is going to just be there, and that's the joke. It's cartoonishly bad, right? It's like when you're watching like Courage the Cowardly Dog or something, or Tom and Jerry, and they got like a dynamite, and it's like, oh, that dynamite's going to explode in somebody's face, and they're going to be all right in 3 seconds. It's literally Looney Tunes. This movie is Looney Tunes, but it's way less entertaining than Looney Tunes, right? Like, it's comic level bad, but like, you're like, oh, it's Jurassic World. This is the big summer blockbuster. You have to be here to watch it. It's not good. This film is not good. It's not boring, so it does have that going for it. It's just long, kind of boring. You don't care about any of these characters. I'll say that too. Like, the only reason I cared about the characters that I care for is because they're black. I said it. I said it. That's the only reason I care about these two characters is because they have melanin in their skin. Scarlett Johansson's character, I don't care. Jonathan Bailey's character, I don't care. Francis from Deadpool shows up and he dies, and I don't care. I didn't care at all. And it's like when you have a movie like this, you want to build like relationships between characters that make us care for them. That's what made the first few movies so great, is because you made us care for these characters. Even with the first Jurassic World, granted it's not my favorite Jurassic movie ever, but it was good. It had things going for it. You had characters that you would kind of like. Like that's back when Chris Pratt was kind of likable. But here, no one is good. They're all doing this for selfish reasons, kind of like. Johansson is doing this for like, I don't even know the name of her, Zora. Her character's name is Zora. I'm looking right at it. She is doing this for money. Brother, if you don't go to Fast and Furious with that, like, what are we doing here? This movie is boring. I'm not going to lie. I said it wasn't boring. This movie is actually kind of boring now that I think about it. Like, I had fun with it because of the company that I was with, which is usually the case with a lot of movies that I see. But when I think about this movie, I'm like, I really didn't enjoy it, and I kind of wanted to. But I think they got me. Like they threw Gareth Edwards' name on there, got me in the seat, got me excited to see what he could do with this franchise, and they fumbled. This is the first fumble of the summer of 2025. Now, if I have to give this movie a score, I think this is the easiest 6 that I can give this summer so far. Like, it's watchable. Don't get me wrong, it's watchable. But if you ask me, should I see this movie again? I'm going to say I'm good. I'm okay. I did get suckered into buying the bucket and the cup thanks to my girlfriend. Thank you, LaToya, for doing that. But, yeah, like, outside of the company that I was with, us cracking jokes at the movie, me being distraught at one of my favorite characters in the movie dying, like, this movie has not much going for it, and I just have to give it a 6. I want Jurassic World to be good again. That's what I want. I just want these movies to mean something again. These movies haven't meant something in what seems to be a decade at this point. I don't even remember Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Like, what was even in that? And then another thing, I know I'm probably ranting, but this movie features a dinosaur at the end, which is like it was experimented on, and it's like escaped, but it's still on the island, and they haven't done anything with it. Before this film released, we kept hearing that they like based that dinosaur off of a xenomorph from Alien. That's what also got me excited. I was like, oh, so this movie's going to be maybe, more horror focused than the others. I was wrong. I couldn't have been more wrong. It didn't do much for me. And that's why I have to say that this film is a 6 out of 10. Also, with the dinosaur that was there, that was based off of the xenomorph, they do nothing with it. They do almost nothing with it. You see it for just a little bit. It's so dark, you can barely even see the features of the dinosaur. And then they don't fight it. They just kind of let it be and let it exist. It's frustrating. I'm not going to lie. This movie is frustrating to me. The more I think about it, I'm getting more frustrated with it. Because how do you fumble a Jurassic World movie like this? Colossal fumble is what this should have been instead of Jurassic World. Oh, man. Yeah. I didn't like this one. And I know that there's going to be another one because this movie made like $300 and something million over the 4th of July weekend. So people went to go and see it domestically anyway. I just want to check the numbers. I'm sorry. $380.3 million. The budget is $180 million. So this movie has technically almost doubled its budget, its production budget anyway. Probably made back its marketing budget. So we shall get another one soon. I think we're going to have a talk. We're going to have a talk. Myself included. Even though I go to the movies as much as I do, I think one of these days for these movies, I might have to start voting with my heart and decide to not watch some of these movies. I know that's crazy coming from me. I know it. But I'm starting to wonder, like, am I part of the problem because I watch these films in theaters? Like, am I really giving them that much money, even though I have my membership? Am I giving them that much money to where they can just, like, afford to make another one of these right in my face, and me, I just have to take it and go see it again? You know? So I think it's going to be my duty to, like, really hammer in the fact of, like, whether or not people should be seeing these films, because, like, they just keep coming and they just keep releasing, and there's just not much that we can do about it. We just have to sit here, wait a couple years, and they pull out some more slop, and we just go and watch it in theaters. 6 out of 10 film. It's a 6. I got another just quick review for you all. I did see a movie early. This film is called Oh Hi. I knew nothing about it. It was a mystery movie that I saw recently. It stars Molly Gordon and Logan Lerman and Geraldine Viswanathan and John Reynolds. And David Cross is also in this film. It's not a large cast. This film almost feels like a COVID film. Like those COVID films that had like 7 or 8 people as the cast and that was it. That's what this feels like. It feels like a summer vacation COVID film. Like they just said, oh, let's go to this house, shoot this film, and that's what we're going to do. But I will say I enjoyed this film more than I enjoyed Jurassic World, and I'll give this movie a 7. It's not bad. It's different than what I thought it was going to be because the film is like shown to be a comedy, but it's not really that. It's got more to it. It's more like it's like a rom-com psychological horror at some moments, and you can't help but love it. I can't help but love it. But yeah, like the cast do what they have to do. I'm not the biggest fan of Molly Gordon. I'll say it. I feel like her shtick is to be the kind of awkward girl in everything that she's in, and I'm tired of it. But this movie's not bad. I think she also produced it, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, this film is called Oh Hi. I don't know what. Oh, it releases July 20th. Oh my gosh, that's then what? Almost 3 weeks. It comes out in a few weeks. I don't know how like long it's going to be in theaters, but yeah, there's a lot happening. But I think that's all. Well, I'll give this a short synopsis, right? So you have this couple. They're traveling. They're on the way to their like summer vacation type home, and you're just pretty much along for the ride. You get to see them flirt, and they go and get strawberries, and they dance, and they're in the lake, and then they get to the house, and they have a decent night almost, except for Logan Lerman's character, his name is Isaac, tells Iris, who is Molly Gordon's character, that he's just not that into her. But he doesn't say that. He says something else. And they got an audible reaction out of me because I'm looking at them. Their chemistry is on point. They were truly a believable couple. But that is not the case. And what then follows is something different, I guess. That's one thing this movie does have going for it. It is a different movie. Although I wasn't the biggest fan of the ending, I wish that the ending was a bit more. But overall, decent flick. I say if you like rom-coms, check it out. If you like horror and rom-com, definitely check this one out. I'm not going to lie to you. It's actually a decent watch if you just sit down and digest everything and try not to come to any conclusions. But yes, that's my review for Oh Hi. I give this one a 7 out of 10. Now, I want to say to you all, once again, thank you for tuning in. If you're tuning in, thank you for checking in. Everything is good. Environment's changed. I'll get into that a little bit later. As you can see, I got some posters on the wall back here. But yeah, thank y'all. And I hope to be back soon with another review. I have a big film, another big summer blockbuster that I'll be seeing tomorrow that goes by the name of Superman. So I'm looking forward to reviewing that and getting that news over to you all. I'm going to be seeing that one in 3D, so that one should be good. Maybe I'll release some like, maybe I'll release some episodes with some other movies that I've seen recently, like some that haven't come out so recently. Or maybe I'll just, have those as like short form content in the form of like, my YouTube shorts that I do or my TikToks. Maybe I'll make an Instagram page. Who knows? I want to get back to this stuff. Like I said, I miss it. I miss you all. Thank y'all for tuning in. I am a bit tired today. I'm not going to lie. I feel like today was a long day at work. And after work, I went to the gym. So my body is like telling me to sit down somewhere. And I think I should do that. So once again, thank you all for tuning in. I hope to be back soon. Be on the lookout for more episodes. And like I said, follow me on everything. And even on Twitch. Go to twitch.tv/DomoGary. That's DOMOGARY. Give your boy a follow. I want to go over there and just watch some videos or play some games with y'all. So, yeah, we'll do that. And I hope that y'all have a great one. It's been me, your host, your producer, your editor. I got it right this time. Your executive producer, your music man, your first, your last, and your everything. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all. And I'll see y'all later. Peace.